Gnarly is a song about consumption, about making fun of overly produced K-pop. And that is a criticism that K-pop has a specific sound of noise and post-language, overly produced visuals. This Gnarly song that does go back to the post-language criticism that many K-pop songs face. But I think it's fair to say that it is done in a sarcastic way, like wanting to respond to those criticisms. The promotion of the sandwich and the letters Gnarly, using the green capitalizing from the aesthetic of Brat Summer. I think Brat was definitely on the mood board while creating this song and aesthetic. Also, the letters have you seen Flooper? I think it's called Flooper.
It's Flubber, not Flooper. Flubber. Flubber, the movie by Robin Williams. It's Flubber. It's Flubber. Flubber. It's Flubber, the movie.
It's Flubber.
The early 2000s movie with Robin Williams, where he creates this jelly-like figure that comes to life, and it's green and it's called Flooper. It reminds me of that. But then I thought of the aesthetic of the sandwich, and if you've been paying attention to the fashion world, food has been coming into the fashion world and into high fashion houses using the motif of food. And I think it's very peculiar because we are in a time where Ozempic is running rampant and the body type has changed to a very slim, underweight body type. And at the same time, we have these images of highly decadent and high caloric intake foods like sandwiches and burgers and donuts, etc. The direction behind KATSEYE is using that trend. Again, it's peculiar because of the Ozempic trend, but also we are entering a recession. I feel like every video I make, I talk about the recession, but it's true. The politics of a recession makes it so that items of food become a commodity out of our reach. So incorporating food is a way of flexing that unattainability, that decadent, in a very Maria Antoinette, let them eat cake when there's no cake.
Is fashion trying to sell us food? Lately, it feels like every fashion campaign comes with a croissant, a marshmallow, a cucumber, or a fryer. But here's the thing, it's not about taste, it's about status. And food has quietly become a new status symbol. And it's not just overpriced matcha lattes. As we head into a recession, fresh produce is a rarity.
The thing that jumped out to me the most is the leaning into consumption, the leaning into the aspect of K-pop being for mass consumption, mass production, something we consume, like literally they're wearing nails that have food in it. I mean, it cannot get any more clear than having one of the members be in a meat tray. The one you go to the supermarket and you choose from the thousands of brands and you pick whatever is more attractive according to their labeling. And so they are very clearly positioning them as an item of consumption. They're meat to be eaten. Of course, this is a satire of it. They're commenting on one probably is a thing they say about K-pop and KATSEYE themselves. One of the other things that I think might have been in the mood board, and maybe it wasn't, but there is a group I love, Japanese-American group called Chibomato. They had 2 LPs, but the most iconic one of them is called Viva la Woman. And in this LP, all of the songs, all of the motifs of the songs have to do with food. There's birthday cake, sugar water. I think those are the 2 most famous ones. This album came out in the 90s when the aesthetic of the heroin chic aesthetic was very present. It was these 2 Japanese girls, I think they're Japanese but studying in America, that were doing punk music. On birthday cake, they said, extra sugar, extra salt, extra MSG.
Extra sugar, extra salt, extra oil, MSG, shut up,
I think that is what KATSEYE and Bank PD and P-Dog and the other producers wanted to express, like the cynical representation of adding extra sugar, extra salt, extra MSG to make KATSEYE so consumable. I want to talk about the gnarly word. When I think of gnarly, I think of a 90s surfer guy saying like, yeah, gnarly. That's what I think of. And I also think of like a metalhead that is into horror movies and gore and watches a Tarantino like killing scene and go, yeah, dude, that was gnarly. Almost like a stoner kind of vibe. But gnarly does have these two dual meanings. Gnarly isn't like, oh, that's so cool, and gnarlying like, ugh, that's gnarly. Katie Heron goes to the Halloween party dressed as an actual Halloween costume, and the people get scared by it, and like they go like, ugh, gnarly. So gnarly is playing in this dichotomy of these two things. So what does it mean for the song to use a word that has so much plasticity in its meaning, right? It says I cannot see it all. They could describe everything with one single word, like boba tea, gnarly. This is why I think it was trying to be meta and sarcastic and taking after Brat, because it is a meta commentary on the industry and a meta commentary on the issue that has been popping up with K-pop about post language, that they just say whatever the heck. And I imagine this going like they go to a session and they have a beat, and to go over the beat they just start like what sounds good, and sometimes they just leave the nonsense word in, and it works because it sells. How well it sells is another thing, but it sells. And that is what I think K-pop is known for. And then they start playing with food. And this is why I mentioned they are commentating on the consumptional aspect of K-pop. Boba tea, here it says robotics, but I'm pretty sure they said Tesla, fried chicken. And also playing in the like foreignness of K-pop, because boba tea is from Taiwan, I think. And then fried chicken, that is very much recognizable for being like Korean fried chicken. And so you say boba tea, gnarly. What kind of gnarly? Gnarly in like a good kind of gnarly, or gnarly in like a disgusting bad kind of gnarly? And Tesla, is it good or is it bad? Partying in the Hollywood Hills, ugh. This song, gnarly. They are actually commenting on how the song is going. It's like if you were in the studio session while they were writing the song, and it's like, yeah, gnarly, this song, this session, gnarly, these lyrics, gnarly. It's like they're making you part of their songwriting process, right? This is a thing that you wouldn't expect to be released. Going back to the gang gang, I thought that was really funny, because since I don't know the exact origin of that phrase, whenever I think of gang gang, I think of streamers going, yeah, gang gang, like chat, gang gang, almost like a
gang gang, rah, 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 gang gang
noise, like nonsense noise. They really did have a mood board or a storyboard where they said, what is trending right now? And food is trending. There's always takis. Takis, I think, is, to me as a Mexican, the obsession with takis is really, I don't know why. It's just weird to me. Boba tea is a trending thing. Korean fried chicken is trending. The gang gang. If we're gonna make a song that needs to be incorporated to the algorithm, but we wanna make it like meta and commenting in a sarcastic way, in the way that Charli XCX did it. This is why I think they did that. One thing I forgot to say about Gnarly, it's the theme about a copy, making a copy. And why do I want to talk about it? Because I think in the video it was very obvious that they were using the motif of a photocopy and they were doing a photocopy. So I think they were exploring the idea of making a copy of everything is a copy of a copy of a copy nowadays. And the algorithm is a copy of itself to be able to appear and be consumed. You have to make a copy. And I actually thought that this part was an interpolation of a song. But I looked at the credits and it's not. Thought of Bring It On because Bring It On was a movie about stealing or making copies of things that are not yours. So I think it is a meta commentary about the controversies on the choreography issues, on how everything is a copy, how nothing really is original. And I think that they created that techno-y sound, that partly thinking of that Get Ready for It song. But this is just a theory, I don't know. Do you think it worked? Do you think the ambitions that they set out actually work, or did it not? Another thing that I forgot to mention, and I think I did hint at it, but I didn't make it clear, is how effective was this song actually? If the purpose is as what I'm thinking it is, that it was a sarcastic meta commentary on K-pop and the industry and how TikTok songs need to be set up and need to be written in order for them to be a hit, then how effective was it? And I think it did fall short because, and this is part of one thing that Charli XCX did, because Charli XCX was using these grimy, wet, like techno sounds in 360, like purposely playing off that ditzy woman persona in order to like criticize an industry that had continuously passed her, like not paid attention to her, even though she is arguably a master in making hits. She had so many hits written, has written for movies, etc. So she is a master in her craft. She was just being ignored because of her party persona. And part of the what she played up in Brat is making her hyper like feminine, hyper into like the image of a drug fueled techno party girl, and making this other like more poignant commentary in Girls So Confusing, in 360 and Swell, etc. I think that was what they were trying to do, but how well does it land when this is a song from a Kpop group that is not produced by themselves? This is not a song the member were produced it themselves. It is a song produced by producers. So I think the commentary of it and the genius of the song, because I do think it's a genius idea, playing with the concept of Gnarly being something good and something bad, playing into the consumption part of K-pop and using imagery and these purposefully like foreign foods and like controversy fueled things like robotics, Tesla, how effective it is when it is produced in a mass-produced way. You know, the whole idea of K-pop branching out to a localization like point of view is that there is they are taking the one formula and like standardizing it with KATSEYE. I mean, it is a product that's been reproduced. It is a copy of the system that itself was a copy of programs like Making the Band. Right? So K-pop exists because there were programs like Making the Band in the US, and then they reproduced it and made it themselves. And then now that K-pop grew and the American market is not accepting K-pop because it's not American, and the American market is losing its like soft power, they're dividing the market into these localization efforts. And you have HYBE making groups and SM as well for the Japanese audience and for the Chinese audience and for the Mexican or Latam audience. And part of these localization efforts is KATSEYE. And it's being done by a not such a great person, Scooter Braun. And even though he's not here, they use Bang and P-Dog in an effort to like I think it was an effort to erase the mark of Scooter Braun. It is a copy of a copy, so I don't know how effective this mental commentary of the industry, of how music is made, of how you need to chase trends and do post language and mention food and gnarly and all of these things. It is genius if it were being done by someone like Charli XCX, but being done by someone like KATSEYE that has all of this backing behind them, I don't know, it kind of falls short to me. It kind of does. But I applaud the creativity. I think of Bring It On. I think of that Get Ready for It. I think of the trend in high fashion and eating and food, the consumption of artists, the making a copy, the photocopying of the idols. All of that is genius. Honestly, it's genius. I like it. I would have wanted to be part of the like storyboarding and the coming up ideas for this. I just think because of who KATSEYE is and because of who they're linked to, HYBE America, now HYBE being the fourth largest record label in the world, it kind of does not land, in my opinion. I appreciate the effort behind it. I do think that the idea of this commentary on food, like all of these like references are genius. I just think it doesn't really land. But I like it. I like the idea. Please like and subscribe for more commentary on music and whatever the heck I like. And remember to be excellent to one another. Bye.